Okay.
Okay, so if you're ready, let's just get started. So I saw, I just want to, we ask the same questions every time, so I'm just going to ask you in a general way. Has anything changed from last quarter? I saw on the sheet you changed somebody. Is it from Beriner to Fierzier? You changed somebody?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what was the reason for that?
I think that patient don't want to come to our emergency so many time.
Uh-huh.
So and in the COVID-19 situation.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I feel she want to change to the brand.
Right.
That's the reason.
Mm-hmm. Is she an older patient? How old is this patient?
Yeah, she is for about 40.
40, okay. Is there,
Yeah.
have you noticed, is it the younger patients that like to switch to Fierzier? Or have you noticed any trend in that sense? Who likes Fierzier, who wants to stay on Berinert? Anything like that?
So actually, that very few young patients have attack in my facility.
Okay.
Especially for the HA type 1.
Mm-hmm.
So HA type 3 patient, we have young patients, about 3 patients.
Okay.
They already have Fierzier, but almost young patients don't want to use Fierzier. Because of the painful.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So they come to our emergency or our outpatients for use Berinert B.
Okay. So on average, do you think more patients prefer Berinert than Fierzier?
About half and half.
You think it's half and half? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. If you had a new patient, hypothetically, what would you start a new patient on? What would be your preference?
At the first time, I want to introduce Berinert B.
Okay.
So after that, so I want to check the efficacy of the Berinert B. Mm-hmm. So if Berinert B is effective, so I want to introduce Fierzier for that patient.
Okay, so Berinert first, and if they're controlled with Berinert, you would still give the Fierzier later?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
go ahead. They can choose both.
Sure. Okay, so you would prescribe both. First Berinert, then add Fierzier later.
Yes.
And then they have the option to just stay at home.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And do you give all your patients tranexamic acid?
Yeah. So I have prescribed maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patients for tranexamic acid still now. Okay. I can prescribe Oradeo in Japan now. Okay. But the Oradeo efficacy is not so effective. I heard from the company.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that cost is really, really expensive.
Okay. So you haven't prescribed it yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning on it? So how are you going to decide? What kind of patient would you start somebody on that?
Maybe I guess if some patient have so many attack, in such a case, I want to prescribe Oradeo.
Okay. Do you have any patient like that now, or no?
No.
Okay, so you don't think in the near future you need to prescribe this yet? Is that right?
Yet, I think so. So if such a long time prophylaxis drug is more effective compared to Oradeo, in such a case, I want to prescribe such a drug.
Okay. So Orladeyo doesn't really excite you then?
Yes, because so the HAE attack is becomes only half compared to non-prescribed patient.
Okay. Is it more effective than the tranexamic acid, though? Would you say that's...
I guess so.
Okay.
we don't have evidence to use long-term prophylaxis for using the tranexamic acid. That's traditional drug, and that's a cheap drug, and that's easy to prescribe. That's only.
Right, absolutely. So it sounds like the cost is the biggest barrier.
Yes.
So you still prefer tranexamic acid because of the cost over Orladeyo.
Yes.
Okay.
If such an oral drug is more effective, I want to prescribe, but only half.
Yes.
Only half is not.
It's not good enough for you.
Effective based on such a high cost.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, a lot of sense. And then how many? So you have 5 patients on TXA. Do you guys call it do you understand that acronym TXA for tranexamic acid?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to call it TXA. So TXA, you have 5 patients. How many patients are on demand treatment?
In such a patient, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 user on demand treatment in this Q1.
Okay, and and are any of your patients? Are you just following any patients? How many are you just How many patients are you just following who are on no treatment currently?
No treatment. In all totally.
Yeah, total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe 10 patients no attack.
Got it. Okay, perfect. And then, what is the usual dosage for Berinert and Firazyr to control attacks in your patients?
So in one patient, usually I use Berinert P for 1,000 units.
Okay, so 2 vials.
That's the base.
Is that so? That's like the
2
average.
vial.
Mm-hmm.
2 vial.
Is that?
And Firazyr is I prescribe maybe 2 vials for the home therapy.
Okay.
So they use 1 vial usually.
Okay.
If they use 1 vial, they come to our hospital to refill such a Firazyr. In many attack patients, I want to prescribe more.
What you want to, but
maybe 3 or 4 vials in such a case.
Okay. Oh.
Firazyr.
So when do you prescribe more? When they don't get controlled with 1? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So they have many attack.
Okay.
In such a patient, I want to prescribe more than 2 vials.
I see. Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand. So you give 1,000 units for Berinert. Does that control majority of your patients?
Yes.
Okay.
In almost patient can control by using 1,000.
Okay.
But in some resistant patient and fat patient, I have to prescribe 1,050.
500, yeah.
Okay. 500 units.
Right. Okay. So
3 vials.
So that's the maximum but majority of the time it's 1,000. And then for the Firazyr, usually one vial controls.
Yes.
Okay, but sometimes, and then I would assume sometimes 2 is necessary.
Or I think in Japanese in our facility they use one shot.
Okay.
And so after that they cannot control their attack. They come to our emergency room to use Berinert P.
Okay, so just 1 vial. If it continues, then they come into the hospital.
Yes.
Okay, and then so when you said you want to prescribe more than 2, how many attacks would you do that for? If a patient comes, how many attacks in a month would you say?
In such a patient, maybe 1 or 2 attack, at least 1 or 2 attack per month.
Per month, and then you think you want to give more than 2 for the safety?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Just switching gears, has have there been any shortages of medications or any